Morning, everybody. You're welcome to the Discourse with Jimi Disu, brought to you by MTN. Right. Today is a pleasurable day for me because I have a guest I'm meeting for the first time, but we've been speaking. But it's also a guest that she's like family because her late dad was a very, very nice Egmont to me when I was a young boy running all over the streets. Her late dad with Uncle Isaac Aluko Lokun. They helped me a lot in my job. My late dad is Mr. Rashid Gbadamosi. He never had any title. He wasn't chief or anything or Alaji. Or Chief Rashid Gbadamosi. Yes, Rashid Gbadamosi. But the story doesn't end there. Neither does it start there. It starts from way back when her mom, Auntie Tino, when her mom was my teacher when I was in Form 5. To all my classmates, this is the daughter of, she was Miss Adenirabi.
Adedoyin.
Adedoyin.
Yes.
Mrs. Adedoyin. Way back then. She was one of the youngest teachers we had then. And there were a lot of guys that had a crush on your mom, stupidly.
So I hear.
What we did in school then was you look for every excuse to go to meet Auntie Tino to ask a question, But before then, there's some news in the papers I'd like to, to bring to your notice. Just one or two. The Weekend Trust has something about the men around Tinubu. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. There is a nation, front page says that vandals strike again, electricity, okay, and destroy 31 transmission towers. So we are due for another round of darkness. Court remands 109 for foreigners. And this one, hold on to your seat, Mrs. Adelibigwe. Hold on to your seat. This one is going to crack you up. Listen. Thieves invade Celestial Church and still harvest cows. And the church leader said, we've never seen anything like this before. The cows that they want to use for harvest have been stolen. Morning, Kumbi, how are you?
I'm very well.
See, your husband doesn't mind if I call you Kumbi.
No, he doesn't mind at all.
Yes, there's nothing he can do about it.
Nothing.
If he doesn't like it, he can take a walk. Is that a yes or no?
Oh, no.
He shouldn't take a walk.
He shouldn't take a walk, sir, but no, he doesn't mind at all.
How is Auntie Tino, though?
She's very well. Yeah, we thank God.
We are looking forward to the 80th.
Yes, in a few weeks' time.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the 80th.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad to tell everybody I've been invited.
Yes, you have.
Okay, Kumbi, you have a musical company.
Yes, sir.
What exactly do you do?
I teach music. It's a music school.
That sounds interesting. You have a teacher for the up and coming.
Yes, sir. We do.
She just got married, you see.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And she's been closely monitored by Uncle Jimmy. Okay, apart from the obvious, what exactly does it mean to teach children music? I mean, how would I put it now? I don't want to use the word gains, but what are the benefits? Because music, for some, is the last of what they consider.
It is.
And I remember our music teacher then, Park Creppy, would say music is the language of the soul and the outlet of our feelings. Have you heard that before?
I have. I've heard something similar. Yes.
Yeah.
Music.
Right. If Auntie is listening now, you remember Park Creppy. Music is the language of the soul and the outlet of our feelings. What are the benefits of letting your child study music?
So let me tell you a bit of a story of how I came into music education, if I may. So my background is actually economics, and then I went into business administration. I was in IT project management for a little while. And pregnant with my first child in February 1997. I found an article on Time magazine. We were living in the UK at this time, that talked about how engaging in music can help improve a child's cognition.
Yes.
Okay, and it was that article that led me to begin to research what is this thing all about. You understand? And so basically, There's a lot of research that's happened over the last 30 years, and it's still ongoing, especially in the West, that shows that a certain type of music education helps a certain type, it's structured in a certain way. So basically, reading music education that involves reading, playing, and listening simultaneously. Okay, so you have to be decoding, the music on the sheet. Doing those three things simultaneously is activating three parts of your brain. And music is one of the very few activities that you can do that requires this level of cognitive work, if you like. And what it does, by learning to play from sheet music, your left side of your brain and your right side of your brain are learning to communicate to one another. And the pathways between those two sides of the brains are being strengthened. So what it does is that it actually helps you to be quicker at processing information, whether it's music or anything else.
Is that for children or even for
Anybody,
adults?
For adults.
No wonder I'm so brilliant. I like music.
So when my son was little, there was this craze about the Mozart effect, that if you listen to Mozart or classical music, it's going to help your child be smarter. That was absolute nonsense. Because
I was going to say.
Because passively listening to music has very little effect. And actually, when that experiment was replicated, they found that any effect it had at all within 5 minutes was gone. And you could replicate that effect with lots of other activities. So it's not passively listening to music. It's actually playing an instrument. Okay. That actively being involved in music, whether you're playing an instrument or singing, do you understand? That is what it really develops your cognitive abilities. In the West, sir, 93% of STEM graduates have had some level of music education.
STEM graduates?
STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths.
Oh my God! I thought that they were graduates made from stem cells.
No, sir. No, sir. STEM is like one of the kind of like it's in fashion, in vogue at the moment. Everybody wants to be in STEM because obviously there's a lot happening in that side. But people don't realize that a lot of those children have had a foundation in music. Children who have had at least 2 to 5 years of well-structured music learning as children do well. They're between a year to a year and a half ahead of their peers in maths, science, and English. And so when you look at the curriculum, of the Western countries, you look at Scandinavia, you look at, the UK, the US, you look at the Asian countries, all of them have music as a foundation for their children right from early years.
Do we have that here?
No, sir.
Yeah,
Not to the same extent.
The most you get is some keyboard. And so where do we start from?
You start by singing to your babies. That's where you start.
From what age?
From even before they're born.
That's what I heard. I heard
Yes.
I heard you can actually talk to children when they're in the tummy.
Yeah. So, Uncle Jimmy, your auditory senses, your sense of hearing, is the first sense that you develop in life, and is the last one that you lose.
Okay, so if a woman is pregnant, she should sing to the baby?
So your baby can start to hear from about 5 months in vitro. The baby can hear the mom's heartbeat, can hear all the goggling of all the digestive systems and everything. So why do you think that when babies are born and you put them to your chest, it seems to relax them? Because that's the sound that they're used to hearing. Or babies instinctively are calm when they hear the mother's voice, because that's a familiar sound. That sound is the link they have from the world before they were born to the outside world.
Can the third party sing to the baby?
Yes. So from
how many months?
A bit later, maybe around 7-8 months, the baby can then hear external sounds. The baby can be startled by external sounds.
I better be careful.
Okay, do you remember how she shouts in the studio?
I'm careful how I shout to the studio.
Yes.
The baby should be
Yes. So babies actually recognize voices of family members.
This is interesting.
Yes, their fathers and siblings. So when siblings hug the baby, the mommy's tummy, and I say, "Oh, baby inside mommy's tummy," you can hear a lot of that.
And then what? Do they react? Do they?
Sometimes they do. So there are labs that are actually dedicated to measuring how music impacts fetuses. I think the Harvard Harvard Lab Center for the Developing Child is quite known for a lot of the work that it does in the field. And they found that you can actually influence the mood even of a child ego by the type of music that you play. And sometimes if you have like the fast energetic music, you can see, some fetuses are actually reacting vigorously to that.
So if you play like some Fuji or gospel music to
Mama Jojo Fuji.
But what is the best kind of music to play around the baby?
Honestly, the best kind of music is actually the mother's voice, whatever the mother loves.
And so that has to stay back.
No, even the father. I mean, some people even have programs. There are antenatal classes you can go to in the West, where you have singing, reading stories, and all of that, even before the baby is born.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. It is totally amazing. And another thing they found was that, you can see sometimes on TikTok or on the internet, videos of babies reacting to a piece of music. Maybe they're crying or maybe happy. And the reason for that is that if a mother is listening, maybe she's had a breakup, for example, or a tragedy, and there's a piece of music that she listens to when she's sad, her body creates some sad hormones that surround the baby and influence the baby's mood. And obviously, with the baby able to hear, they associate certain sounds with certain moods.
So really, jokes apart and minus all my faffing around, for about 5 months you have a full-grown being.
You do, pretty much.
In the tummy.
In terms of the auditory senses, obviously the lungs and other things are still developing. And you should therefore
be sensitive as to what.
Yes.
So, because sometimes you do find, for example, a pregnant woman, she sells in the market.
Yes.
Next door to her is somebody who sells Fuji music and whatever, and they're banging it from 8 o'clock in the morning till late at night.
Yeah.
Does that affect the personality of the baby when she grows up?
I wouldn't necessarily say personality. If the mom enjoys Fuji music, the baby will associate Fuji music with happiness. So let me give you my personal example. On maternity leave, I spent a lot of time watching, you'll be familiar with EastEnders in the UK, soap opera. And the theme music is quite distinctive. When my son was born and he was barely 6 weeks old, I was feeding him, the program came on, and he demonstrated that he recognized that song. Because he stopped feeding. This is a hungry boy. Boys don't stop feeding for anything. He stopped feeding. He wasn't strong enough to move his neck, but his eyes were going towards the TV. Okay, so
it sounded familiar.
It sounded familiar. It was a sound he recognized, and so I took note of that. I was interested, obviously, because I'd already started reading this article and researching this thing. When he became a crawling, anytime that program came on, my child would crawl at the speed of whatever as fast as he could go to the telly, and he'd just be like bopping in front of the TV that. He didn't do it to his cartoons. He didn't do it to any of the children's programs, but that particular tune, he recognized it. And I guess he associated with mom being happy. So for him, it was a positive
sound. Actually, parenting has become a very, very interesting endeavor. If you're sensitive to these things they are talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe I should allow a stray bullet. I feel like
so you can experiment.
I think he's going to be scolding me. This guy has started again. Yeah, because you know what knowledge does to you.
Yes.
The things that we take for granted. Okay, so at what point do we start sensitizing our kids to? Well, you said from the belly, as it were.
Yes.
So at the moment at which they grow up, they're growing up 1 year, 2 years, what do you advise that we do?
Okay, so like I said, you start off by singing with your baby from little, and there are games that you can do with your child. Just little songs, tickle songs, little games. I have a whole compilation of them freely available that people can begin to learn to do with their babies.
Available where?
On YouTube. Just do a search.
Oh, yeah, just type in YouTube.
Yeah, just type in YouTube.
Your music?
Just me singing and showing, not music I've written, but music that is freely available online. That parents can use.
Let's give about 3-4 just so that we can.
Okay, so for example, there's this song that goes like this. It goes spots, 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 spots. A leopard has lots of spots. What a lot of spots he's got.
Something now.
It is, but they are
Don't
ahead
we
of
have
us.
a Yoruba, like a Nigerian version?
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, there's lots of Yoruba songs. So, for example, well, maybe not Yoruba. So, like my mother, there's a particular song that she sang to my children that I passed on now to my grandson.
Oh, okay, yes.
It's not in Yoruba though, but you know, she sings like, he's a fine, fine boy. He's a fine, fine boy. Olu Jimi Tiwa, he's a fine, fine
You have
boy.
somebody called Ujimi.
My grandson, I called him Olu Jimi, sir.
You're going to pay a heavy fine.
You know, like
She's
that.
a fine, fine girl. She's a fine, fine girl. Oh, he's a fine, fine girl. You need to see yes. By the way, we're on YouTube and we're on Facebook Live, and today is a fun day, really. But it's also a day of discovery. I will tell you this for free. I'm totally ignorant about all what you've said.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to pretend as if I ever knew.
Yes, sir.
I felt somewhere at the back of my mind that, okay, that children can be, but I didn't know it was such a serious thing as this. And I hope that would-be parents, this is a very good part of parenting, preparing the background. We take a lot of things for granted when we are raising children. And that's because of what I would say lack of knowledge. So you can actually put in your best to mold your child.
Yes, you can.
Up to a point.
Yes, you can. So, for example, when you think about language, okay, the part of the brain that processes music overlaps the part of the brain that processes language. And so when you are singing to your children, because, you know, when children are born, even before you know this, there's nobody that picks up a child and says, oh, hello, how are you? We're all singing, you know, we use this, they call it parentese or babyese. We use this high-pitched sing-song voice. And that's because children can hear, are better tuned to hear those high-pitched sounds, okay, as babies. It's just something that we do instinctively.
What we do, we sing. I remember sometimes when a child is crying,
yes,
you sing for them. I remember my younger sister, her friends would laugh.
Yes.
You know, Nigeria money was
exactly.
always
money has exactly. So, you know, so that is, we do that instinctively anyway. But there's a science to it, because children can pick out the sounds that make up language easier through songs. Okay. Also, speech and singing are very similar, because basically it's songs that are arranged in a rhythmic pattern. You understand? And so a child who is sung to has the foundations for distinguishing between sounds that they can then use when they're learning to speak and when they're learning to read. Okay, children who are sung to are better readers than children who are not. And that is by, you know, research. This is not just people saying that. And they have a better vocabulary as well. And
do they process information better?
They process information quicker.
Quicker?
Yes.
Are they more creative, though?
So one of the things that if you have well-structured music learning, right, you encounter a lot of problems. Okay, because what you're doing is that you're basically decoding code in real time. You have all these black and white dots on paper, and you're having to translate that into sound. Okay, so you are looking at something with your eyes. Your body is moving on whatever instruments you're playing to translate those dots into sound, and your ears are telling you whether you've done it right or not. Okay, and doing all of that requires a lot of being creative, and if you get something wrong, you then have to problem solve. So they find that people who have musical training are used to encountering problems and then finding a solution to it. So they're creative thinkers.
Okay, so let me run a quick commercial for you. So what do you offer parents? What kind of support do you offer parents?
So we offer parents
as it just says here that Kumbi's music company.
Yes,
it
sir.
doesn't really touch on this aspect that
Yes,
you're talking
sir.
about.
Yes,
so
sir.
what do you offer parents?
So I've actually curated, I don't even know how many now, different interviews or different presentations that explain all this research. And also stories from families whose children have succeeded academically and who attribute that success to their music training as children.
So do you provide real-time support for would-be parents?
For will-be parents, absolutely. So we have all kinds of classes that parents can come to if they want, or they can avail themselves of the training
Are the
that we have.
classes like online, or they have to be physically present?
They can be both. So I did a class recently in November for parents with young children.
Yeah.
Online. I did that online.
Online, yeah.
Yes. And we had people join from all over the place. So sometimes if you want to reach, have a wider reach, online sometimes is best. And the idea was to give them ideas of how you can interact with your babies through music and how you can begin to lay those foundations.
I have somebody I'm going to sponsor for that.
Oh, fantastic.
I have somebody I'm going
Fantastic. Just say amen and just accept.
I wasn't talking to you.
Now you sponsor to people.
Yes, because parenting. I'm sure some people want to ask questions. Since we've gotten this far, 0201-277-0993. And the female number, why do we call this number female?
I don't understand too. I was going to ask you.
Why do we
Encourage more female callers.
want more female callers? So, is this a male 0201-277-0993?
Yes.
Is it a general number or is it a male number?
So now, so that it's not like it's just women that have a number. The men now have.
The men now have their own number.
Yes, exactly.
Separating Paul with Barnabas. And the female line is 0201-465-719. We have a caller here. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Jimmy.
Morning, how are you?
Good morning to Madam Kumbi.
Good morning.
Right to Madam, do you have a YouTube?
Yes. So
What's it called?
you just search.
Just
search.
search and you Google her name
Okay.
and it will come
Thank
up.
you.
Yeah.
I think we need to take a short break, right?
Not yet. You still have something.
Not yet, still have some time. Do we have another caller?
No, we have some.
Okay, there it is. There it goes. Hello, good morning. Hello,
Uncle Jimmy.
morning.
What Madam has been saying,
Yes.
if you check John the Baptist in the Bible, when he was in his mommy's womb,
Yes.
Jesus,
Yes.
there was a time Mary said, John's mother said, when I heard your voice, the baby in my womb. That was.
Well, you have to use that. Can you please call us with another line, please? You can call back. Hello, good morning. Okay, can you read some of the comments?
Yes, with pleasure. We have a message from Shegzi. He says, "You, JD, that's Uncle Jimi Disu. So I really appreciate you on how you still keep tabs with people and events and how you remember all these things, including names. You are indeed a legend."
No, really.
Okay, Onuzulike says, "This music lesson is interesting to me. It's highly educating. Thank you, madam." Abang Okon says, "So fun and extremely helpful. Uncle JD, thank you, sir." Kazim is asking, what happens to the deaf? I guess he means children who are hearing impaired.
Good one.
That is that is amazing. The power of music. So I don't know whether they've heard of Dame Glennie.
No.
She's
never.
a deaf drummer, master drummer.
You're kidding.
She's a deaf master drummer, multi-Grammy award winning. She's never heard the drums in her life. She plays it amazingly. I first learned of her when she opened one of the Olympics.
I mean, hey, wait a minute. She plays along with the band or something?
No, sir. She does incredible solos.
On her own?
Yes, on her own. And the way she feels, because music is also, you're disturbing the air, it's vibrations, right?
Yes.
And deaf people have a heightened sense of feeling vibrations and things like that. So if Dame Glennie or other deaf musicians are going to play, they would often play with their shoes off. Okay, so that those vibrations can pass through them.
And also, when you play instruments, usually the tune is in your head.
Yes.
And I don't think that has to do with whether you're deaf or dumb.
No.
If you notice, most people who take like guitar solos,
Yes.
they're doing it with their mouths. First with their lips, they're going like that.
Yeah.
And then reproduce. So I'm not too surprised
Yeah.
that this is happening.
Yeah.
But what's the name of that?
Dame Glennie.
Dame Glennie.
Dame Glennie. She's a British drummer.
But she just plays solo. She doesn't.
No, she does everything. She plays with bands, everything. She's highly
Really?
accomplished drummer.
What kind of bands does she play with?
Anything, orchestras, different things.
Oh, okay. She's not like tied to a particular brand.
No. She's a highly accomplished drummer, and she's completely deaf. And there are many deaf musicians. Even if you, I don't know whether you know the story of Beethoven, who turned deaf, became deaf, later in life. And you know this song that is very popular, da 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 da, joyful, joyful, we adore you. That symphony.
Yeah.
He was deaf when he wrote it. Totally deaf when he wrote it.
Having you in the studio sometimes just makes there are things. So what does all this do to me? There are things I'm afraid to think of. The possibilities that exist for even people with what you might want to call disabilities, for want of another
absolutely
word. The possibilities that exist.
Absolutely.
It is amazing.
Yes. I mean, one of the things that we did was that we had some children with cerebral palsy that the mom really, really wanted to engage with music.
Yes.
And obviously because of their condition, their fingers couldn't function like, children who don't have the condition.
Yes.
And so it was really I mean, they managed to learn to play with one finger and things like that, but it was a real struggle. So I researched online and said, there must be a solution. And we found an equipment called the Sound Beam, which has been seen globally for over 30 years and not one had been sold to Africa.
Wow.
And what it is that it is, if you look at it, you think it's juju. So basically, they have sound waves. They have waves, invisible waves, that this thing produces. And by breaking the wave, any form of movement, you can create sound. And, it's programmable, so it looks like a mixing desk. And you can program it so that it has a drum or it has a flute or whatever. I saw a video of a child who was paralyzed, clearly paralyzed. The only thing she could move was her eyebrows. And she was playing music with this thing.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I've met, I have a few young kids, well, they're not that young anymore, who have one who has Down syndrome, is a fantastic drummer.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, music is something that...
Needs to say that he likes beating the drum on my tummy.
Amazing.
He calls me pregnant.
Bless him.
What you're doing here is very, very revealing, and I must confess I didn't know it was going to be as exciting and revealing as this. But then what we're told is that we learn every day. I wish I could start parenting all over again, just to get. You said what?
You use your grandchildren.
No, but grandchildren is not the same as yours.
The principles are the same. The principles are the same. So you can be. I mean, for my grandbaby, I'm the one I'm always singing to him. I play to him.
But so you're taking the fun away from the mom.
No, not necessarily. It's just that he knows when he's with Granny Cuddles that he's in for a good time.
What is it that makes a special tie with grandchildren and grandparents?
I think it's time.
The kind of bonding that you have with your my children are always saying that, I never knew they had that kind of relationship with my dad.
Yes.
I'd never guessed it, but my daughter would always swear.
But you also have the wisdom from hindsight. You know, when you're parenting for the first time, you are experimenting and you're making all kinds of mistakes. And you have all kinds of anxieties that don't make any sense with hindsight.
Yes.
As a grandparent, you are less anxious about so many things because you see it all and you're like, Emma, worry, it's still going to be okay.
I mean, my grandsons are like they call me Jimi Disu.
Yes.
And it tickles me. Okay, we have to take a break now. We'll take a short break. When we come back, I'll let as many as time can allow, as many as you want to call in and ask questions, but we'll continue with our conversation with Kumbi Oshinoike. So don't go away, we'll be right back.
The Discourse with Jimi Disu.
The Discourse with Jimi Disu
continues in a moment. And now,
babe, I've been calling you all day. Where have you been?
Still trying to link my NIN. But the queue is so long.
Haven't you linked it before?
I have, but I made a mistake with my date of birth.
But you could have done it at home if you visited www.nin.mtn.ng.
Why did you tell me since?
Act now. Link your NIN from the comfort of your home, office, or while you're on the move. Visit www.nin.mtn.ng to correct any error, whether it's someone else's picture, wrong date of birth, someone else registered your line for you, and so on. Remember, visit www.nin.mtn.ng to link your NIN instantly. Babe, I've been calling you all day. Where have you been?
Still trying to link my NIN. Like the queue is so long.
Haven't you linked it before?
I have, but I made a mistake with my date of birth.
But you could have done it at home if you visited www.nin.mtn.ng.
Why did you tell me since?
Act now. Link your NIN from the comfort of your home, office, or while you're on the move. Visit www.nin.mtn.ng to correct any error, whether it's someone else's picture, wrong date of birth, someone else registered your line for you, and so on. Remember, visit www.nin.mtn.ng to link your NIN instantly.
And now, we are back on the Discourse with Jimi Disu.
Yeah, we're back to the Discourse with Jimi Disu, brought to you by MTN, and I still have Mrs. Oshinoiki, Kumbi Oshinoiki. But we need to add that.
Yes, sir.
But by the way, was it you this morning on here that we were talking about surnames and professional? Some women, when they get married, want to still keep their names. Do you have anything against that?
I don't have anything against that.
I think it's a matter of choice.
It is, yeah. And I think it's more of a trend.
But I'm sure it was sad for you to drop that, but I must say, because it does open doors. I'm sure you know that.
I do know that, but my father was never one to really kind of want us to use his coattails. He discouraged that.
If I may ask, what happened to his art collection?
We have it.
You have it?
We have it.
Is it in a place where we can look at it?
Some of it is, yes.
Some of it?
Yeah, he has a private gallery.
I tell you why I remember this, and I'd like to thank Onye for that. On Wednesday, I spent the whole day in Pan-African University.
I heard with Mr. Shillon.
With Mr. Shillon, yes, and I went to his gallery. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. He's amazing. He and my dad were quite close, and
I tell you what I tell you what I told them.
Yes.
I told them to get in touch with the family to see if they could get one or two paintings from your dad's collection to hang up there. Would that be doable?
I'm sure it is.
Fantastic. It's up to you now. It's up to you. It's up to you. He had a massive collection.
Yes. No, Mr. Shillon started early and he went hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you into arts, by the way?
I'm not artistic. My sister is. My younger sister is the artist in the house. Yes.
But
my daughter is as well. I have a daughter who's autistic.
But what did you study in university? You said
I studied economics, and then
So how did you get into this?
Yeah, so I studied economics, did an MBA.
Is it a divine calling or something?
No, sir. So at the time I was living in the UK, like I said, pregnant with my child, and I was working as an IT consultant. So I was traveling at a moment's notice, which was fine because my husband was working as an IT person, but with a school, with the College of Law in the UK. So he wasn't traveling. And then he got a job also as a consultant. So here's the two of us living in a foreign country. We didn't have any close family, and we both had contracts that said we needed to travel whenever at a moment's notice. And we had a 3-year-old. And so I was like, what's going to happen to this child if both of us have to travel? So my husband's job was going to relocate us to another part of the country. So I was actually looking for childcare. And you know what it's like? We are moving from slightly up north, further down. Our mortgage doubled and we lost a bedroom. The cost of living was so much higher.
Yes.
And I was looking at childcare and realized that I was actually going to have to, because of his age, being 3, and I needed full-time care, I was actually going to give my paycheck to whoever was going to be looking after him. The cost was so high. And I thought this doesn't make any sense. And so as I was still searching, I came across an advert saying we need people to run these music classes for parents. And it was the first time that I considered, and they said, flexible work, you can fit around the family, whatever. This was after I had read that article a few years earlier, 3 years earlier, but I couldn't do anything with it because I was in full-time employment. There was no way I could take my baby to any classes or anything, but it was a desire I had. So when I saw that and they said, oh, you needed to have a musical background, a business background, etc., I could tick all the boxes. So I started to investigate. I looked into it and I realized that actually I love the classes. And yes, if it allowed me to be the one to take my son to school and bring him back and I didn't need any other extra childcare and I was doing something I loved, I'll do it for 5 years because it was a 5-year contract. Uncle Jimmy, 12 years later, I was still doing it.
Do you think that you got this influence from your dad? Of course,
100%.
His involvement in the Muzon is well documented.
It wasn't so much even Muson. Obviously, Muson was something that he did out of his own passion. But the way he influenced us at home. My dad forever had music playing, classical music, forever. He had his own study, and he had hundreds of classical music CDs, and always playing. And I remember a very special moment with my dad I'll never forget. He called me one day and he said, I want to introduce you to the Pastoral Symphony by Beethoven. And he sat me down and he gave me a bit of a background and he said, it's all about, life in the country, so imagine the animals, imagine the babbling brooks, this piece of music is depicting that scene. And we both sat in silence and we listened to this thing. It was a magical moment. My dad being so busy, I never really had time like that with him. But that one interaction stayed with me forever. I fell in love with that piece of music. I love it till tomorrow.
Did he ever take you to Fela's house?
He didn't.
He didn't?
Yeah.
Did you ask to be taken there?
I didn't. I was terrified of going there.
Why?
Because, I was...
He was very close to him.
Oh, yeah. No, my dad was at his deathbed, effectively.
I know, yes. Yeah. In fact, what it said is it true was your dad who evacuated him with Uncle Wale Buckner from his house to hospital?
Yes.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah, I think my dad helped with his
did Fela come to his house?
Not that I'm aware of, but I was quite young at the time, so it's possible he may have done.
Maybe we should put a go through to Auntie and ask.
Yeah, she might want to tell.
How did Auntie cope with your dad's friendship with Fela?
I think she kind of just let it be. I'm not sure that she was enthusiastic about it.
Yes, I know, the good old Nigerian woman.
Yes.
Let my husband do what he's doing.
Yeah. She just let it be.
We miss him, though. Do miss your dad. Okay, so do we have any callers calling in? 0201277093 and 0201465790. But you're not resident here, are you?
I'm in and out.
So where are you more in or out? Are you here or there? Reason being,
yes, sir.
As soon as I get off the program now, I'm going to be getting people calling me. How can they get in touch with you?
My school.
They'd like to know if you're...
My school is here.
Oh, your school is here?
Yeah, we have 3.
Is it in a physical building?
Yes, we have 3 physical locations.
Oh, really?
Yes, and we teach online as well. I have.
So in your school,
here.
Can people bring their kids?
Yes, 100%. Yes, we actually, because of my belief in the power of music to transform lives, we have 2 different programs. So babies up until their 3rd birthday can get up to 6 months of free lessons with us.
To bring in babies?
Yes, sir.
What's the youngest age?
From age 3 months.
Really?
Yeah. To 3 years.
What do you do with them?
It's music event. So they come with a carer. The carer has to get involved because it's also about training the parent how to interact with their child musically. You understand? So we have a leader who will lead them through different songs and activities. We have child-sized percussion instruments, so child-sized tambourines, djembe drums, and all of that.
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
You want people can bring in their 3-month-old kids?
Yes, sir.
And how long does that take? The first 6 months is free?
Yes, sir.
After that, they start to pay?
After that, they start to pay, yes, sir. Or they continue at home, what they've learned.
And, wow. Sorry?
It's a strategy. It'd be too good for them to abandon. I'm sure after the 6 months, they're like, please, where can I resubscribe? I want to continue because I'm sure it's so good.
Let me let you put small. What do you get after that 6 months? What happens to your baby?
So by that time, hopefully, if you're coming regularly, your baby should begin to be able to hear the beat and keep a steady beat. Keeping a steady beat.
How do you get to know that?
Because they'll be able to clap in time because we have a lot of clapping activities. So when they sing...
3 months?
No, 3 months won't be able to do that.
Yes.
You understand me? So obviously, as they're a bit older, maybe from 7-8 months, and they're able to start to clap.
Wow.
Do you understand? But obviously, with the 3 months, is the bond with the parent. Do you understand me?
Yes.
And just their being able to the tune, their ears being tuned to music, and their sensitivity to music. You're lighting a spark that's not going to leave them.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to have a whole lot of babies coming. Look at the lines.
I have a friend who's. Do you take 2-year-olds?
Yes, we do.
I have someone their child is so gifted already. He knows songs, he sings songs, he hears rhythm, he dances.
Fantastic.
There was a day I babysat him, and when I just played music and he just, we just danced and vibed.
Yes.
It was so beautiful. And he already goes to the drums in church.
I feel like becoming a baby
He
again.
he actually plays rhythms.
Yeah.
But let me ask you
what?
quickly,
Yes.
just in case.
Nah,
sorry, yeah, I don't want to
No
forget.
problem, sir.
Do you have any provision for elderly people? How music can help them?
Yes, sir. So actually,
I thought as much.
Yes, sir. So music is actually defense against dementia. Playing an instrument, it slows down the effects of dementia. It's not that you won't get it, but it slows it down, and it can actually make the symptoms milder. So one of the things that they discovered is that musicians' brains are bigger. That part in the middle, the corpus callosum, that connects the left and the right side. Musicians' brains have a bigger corpus callosum because the connections between both sides of the brain are stronger. And that's what learning to play an instrument does. It's difficult, sir. Especially as an older person, you're trying to, put your fingers in the right place and all of that.
My friend retired and picked up the saxophone.
Exactly. Warren
friend
Buffett,
Johnny.
sir, plays the ukulele. Okay.
Which is the ukulele now?
It's like a little guitar,
little
but it only
guitar,
has
yeah.
4 strings.
Which instrument can I play?
You can play the microphone. You're very good at it.
No, I come and do singing lessons. I have a caller there. Hello, good morning. This is interesting. Morning.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Morning, sir. Quickly. We have so many people.
Good morning, madam. Oh, wow, you're phenomenal, ma.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, I want to ask a question. My name is Godman. I want to ask a question, ma.
Yes, sir.
Singing, does it help the music? Does it help the memory?
It does.
That's a nice one.
It does. It really does, because to be able to play a song well, you have to have memorized how it's going to go. Do you understand me? So you're using your memory all the time.
Maybe I need that. One of the reasons why I've not been an actor, believe you me, is because my immediate memory is not too good. I can't remember
Your working
my
memory.
lines.
Yes.
Yes.
So children that have ADHD,
What's
Asperger's,
ADHD now?
attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Is that what I have?
No, sir. No.
When I said I don't remember things.
No, sir. No, sir.
I don't have
wasn't
ADHD.
relating it to that. No, sir.
Oh, okay.
So it's children that can't pay attention for long.
Yes.
Okay. Learning to play an instrument and having to do that from written music forces them to learn how to concentrate.
Well, guess what? I have that. I can't. It's difficult to pin me down for too long.
Yes.
So if I picked up an instrument, it would help.
Yes. Well, you see, my children have all kinds of neurodiverse families, the way I put it. I have my own children that have dyslexia, and my son has ADD.
You don't have the ADD now.
So it's ADHD, but without the hyperactivity.
No, am I hyper?
So no, you're not hyper. So if you're hyper, you
When I
won't be
take a
able to
cup
sit
of
still.
coffee, yeah.
And he was diagnosed when he was around 18. And what they said to him was, when he was younger, he would have been hyperactive, but that he had learned strategies of how to moderate the hyperactivity.
Back in
So I put that down to the music he had, the music training he had as a child. I didn't know that I had a hyperactive child. But what music training programs does is that it removes the worst effects of these conditions. Do you understand? With children with autism, it helps them to learn how to communicate. I've watched music therapy sessions. We're not music therapists, but we do have autistic children come to us. And we find that in time, their communication improves. You understand me? Their communication with other people, with a coach, with other people, it improves.
Do you take
through
on
music.
children with challenges? I mean, this is no longer a child with Down syndrome and so on and so forth. Do you?
Uncle Jim, my life's ambition is to have a neurodiverse band where you have children with physical disabilities, children with learning disabilities, and neurotypical children making music together, making beautiful music together.
Okay, we got to pick that call. Hello, good morning. Things getting interesting. Hello. Hello? Okay. We missed that. Okay. Let's see some of the reactions that you have. This one's very long. It's too
yes. Okay, this is not for... Oh, let me scroll up. That was for later in the day. Good. Adigoke from Lekki says, greetings, Uncle Jimmy and Mrs. Oshinoiki. I learned how to play the drums, keyboard, and bass guitar when I was a teenager. One thing that I know inspired me was the availability of the musical instruments to learn, and when I always see musicians play them. I have quit though, but just rehearsing on my keyboard whenever I am free. I am more into entertainment consultancy now. It says I would like her to talk about the place and power of music hereditary from lineages.
Yeah, is it hereditary? Is it?
I think people like to think so, but honestly, I think with anything, there's that nurture nature debate, right? It's 99% perspiration. You can come from a musical family, and if you don't put in the effort, it does nothing for you. Do you understand me? So I think it's just about putting your mind to learning.
Someone says, someone gives the full name of Dame
Yes.
Evelyn Glennie.
Yes.
This is from Tayo Lawal from Canterbury. And he says, by the way, your mom was his science teacher.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
My mom has many children.
Okay.
I must say something on her 80th.
Yes, please.
If you don't allow me to say something, I grab the mic.
No problem, sir.
Indy Freke from Surulere says, good morning, Uncle Jimmy. I'm a music teacher also, and I can attest to everything she's saying. I have met great kids, and when I speak to them, mostly their mom, the answers stem from when they were in the womb. It also inspires confidence.
Let's pick that call.
Yes.
Hello, good morning. Please, when you call in, so 1 second, please, Onye. Please, when you call in, skip all the greetings so that you can say what you want to say within a minute. Okay, skip all the good morning this, good morning that, that in the house and so on. Just go straight to the point. Hello, good morning. Hello, morning. Good morning.
Again, I think something is wrong with that line.
Something's wrong with the line. Do we allow them call any line?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so you can call any of the two lines whilst we try and tidy up inside. So you're free to call 0201 465 7190, male or female. But the other line too is 0201 277 0993. There's something there. I said, good morning, Mrs. Kobe.
Uncle Jimmy and Onyinye. Music is really spiritual and has a high influence on children's growth from Ayo.
It doesn't. Your religious inclination doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't matter. I think you.
And do you do this whatever it is with traditional music or with Western music?
Okay, so increasingly there are more and more Nigerians who are writing their music down. And so what we're starting to do is incorporate that in what we do. And I'm actually working with an exam board in the UK. I'm speaking to them about including Afrobeats and Nigerian songs by Nigerian composers in the exam syllabus. And they're actually seriously looking into this. We've also introduced the talking drum as one of the instruments that we teach.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And we're teaching children because you can use, because the talking drum is a tonal instrument.
Yes.
You don't have to be Yoruba to be able to play it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've had a master drummer demonstrate to me how you can play London Bridge is Falling Down on the talking drum.
With the talking drum?
Yes, sir. Because it's the same principles. It's the building blocks of music. It has the tones that you need. And so provided you know how to manipulate the drum, you can play almost anything on the talking drum in any language.
We have two callers there, and that will be out of here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good
Quickly,
morning.
yes, go on, please.
Okay, I'm calling from Abuja. Quick question. If you have a school in Abuja, if the answer is no, is there a way we can join online? I have a daughter who is 1 year, 2 months old and loves music.
Yes, she has online. She has online.
Okay.
If you Google Kumbi or Shinobi.
Oshinoiki.
I'm sorry, Mr. Oshinoiki. I'm very sorry. Kumbi or Shinoiki. All the information you need will be there. We can't really broadcast.
I'll just say that we don't do online classes for babies.
Yes, you have to bring the babies.
Yes.
And the studio is located island or mainland?
Both. So we have
both?
Yes. We have Lekki, Ikoyi and Ojudu.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. That's very close to our house.
We'll see you next week.
Very soon.
Oh yeah, and the lessons for you or for somebody else.
We shall find out. All the above. It's never too early to learn.
Hello. Morning.
I think there's a problem with that particular line.
There's a problem with that particular line.
Yes.
What a pity. And also, It's 9:51. In another 4 minutes, I'll have to be out of here. Okay, so the good thing is that it's not centered around you. You have teachers and things who can handle these cases, whilst you go being grandma and still bring daughter to auntie and so on and so forth.
I teach online.
Aren't we going to bring auntie to the studio for her 80th?
We would. I'm sure she'll be happy to come.
It would be nice for her to come. Not just
if
that.
She's invited.
I'll bring one or two naughty boys to come and sit
yes,
in.
please. I bet she can.
Already, I'm thinking of bringing. I'm thinking of bringing Shesoku Yoro.
Okay.
Ask her, tell her that when we're going to do this, I'll bring in Shesoku Yoro.
Okay.
I'll bring in Oladujoye, if she can still remember him. Who else will I bring?
Wow.
Oladujoye can be risky, but I'll bring him. All the same. He will laugh where he is. And maybe Bola Oyeyinka. I don't know if she remembers. Our set was particularly notorious.
Okay.
Yes, it was very, 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 very. And then we'll take messages from some other old boys. When can we do that? Let's agree now.
Anytime. You tell us when.
It will be a Saturday.
Okay.
When is her birthday?
December 19th.
19th. The Saturday before is what date?
12th.
12. Yes. So are we good to go for the 12th?
I believe so. I'll have to check with her because
we will
she's a busy woman.
But it's just around the corner. She just strolls down. It's just 1 hour, and it's the best we can do for her. It'll be so much fun to see all her little boys. Yes. Let's pick the last one.
All right, sir.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Okay, there's another one.
Okay, we have another one. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Morning.
My name is Peter, calling from Shangoteru. If I'm correct from the analysis, am I speaking to Dame Badamosi's daughter? Is that Dame Badamosi's daughter?
Yes.
Mama, very good. I know her very well. She's in my church at Wesley Church, Equal Methodist Church.
Correct.
Yes.
That's a church.
80th birthday. Pray to be there. Good morning.
We are not inviting you. We have to. How can you say you pray to be there? Were you invited?
She's my mentor. She's my wonderful job that the daughter is doing.
Yes.
I've been listening because I have a music background.
Yes.
And all that she's saying, and I'm in the choir, I see more of classical music.
Yeah.
So I've been listening not until when you now said December 19th.
We will accommodate you in the choir. Don't worry. Okay, I was only checking with you. Okay, that's why we are going to end this. December 12th is a date to keep. If you went to the Methodist Boys High School and you'd like to be part of that program, it would be nice to let me know well ahead so that we find a way to accommodate you, because the studio is quite limited. But I can always speak for Sheson. Tell her that Sheson Yoru was very troublesome when we were in school.
Okay.
Yes, you will remember him, and we'll all be here. Thank you very much, Kobe.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's nice having you. When are you in town next after this session? By Easter?
By God's grace.
By God's grace.
Yes.
So we'll have you back at Easter. Let's review how far you've gone with this. It's very significant.
Thank you, sir.
Mrs. Aderi Bigbe,
yes,
you are
sir.
the only OAP who is called by Mrs.
I love it.
Thanks to me.
It's beautiful. Yes.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be back again. I'll be back again on Tuesday. And Tuesday, Daily Digest, 9 o'clock. Guess who's coming to town? Chief Bode George.
Oh,
He's going to talk about the APC. He's going to talk about an article aspiration, if any. And he'll also be talking about the age limits to the presidency and the PDP. So don't miss it, 9 o'clock on Tuesday. Go out there and enjoy your weekend. I'll see you next week. Bye.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.